This monster was pregnant, and today was her due date. During childbirth, her body temperature would spike dramatically, and if she couldn't cool down in time, her entire body would explode. So every time she gave birth, she would descend from the distant universe into Earth's oceans. But this time, she made a mistake and landed in a forest area, with half her body stuck in the ground. Fortunately, she encountered the kind-hearted Ultraman Cosmos. After confirming the monster posed no threat, Cosmos struggled mightily to finally pull the monster out of the pit, nearly getting crushed in the process. After being rescued, Salunga expressed her gratitude and tried to leave in a hurry. Cosmos wanted to stop her to figure out what was going on, but Salunga had too much momentum from running and couldn't stop, ultimately sending Cosmos flying with her belly. Ultraman Cosmos clenched his fists in anger, but Salunga couldn't explain her predicament. Thankfully, the elite team detected that the monster was pregnant and relayed this information to Cosmos. Upon hearing this was a pregnant monster, Cosmos's heart raced and his timer flashed wildly. After all, this was his first time encountering a pregnant monster, and Ultraman Cosmos had no experience with this. He could only use his sleeping light wave to put Salunga to sleep first. After reviewing information about the monster Salunga, they learned that during Salunga's labor, her body temperature would skyrocket, so she had to use seawater to cool her body down. But Salunga's route to the nearest ocean would pass through town, so the elite team members installed large speakers on their vehicles and played ocean sounds to guide Salunga to follow them. However, just as the vehicles were about to reach the coast, the road ahead was blocked by crowds of onlookers. No matter how much the elite team members tried to disperse them, it was useless. Even worse, someone started setting off fireworks at the scene. The sudden firecracker sounds frightened Salunga, who was preparing to give birth, and she involuntarily walked toward the nearby town. At this point, the monster's temperature was already out of control, and there was a huge gas tank in the town ahead. Seeing the situation about to spiral out of control, the man had no choice but to transform into Ultraman Cosmos again to save the day. Ultraman wanted to change Salunga's direction, but the moment his hands touched her belly, they got burned and started smoking. This really hurt Ultraman Cosmos, but the closer the baby was to being born, the higher Salunga's temperature climbed. So Ultraman could only use his cooling beam to temporarily lower Salunga's temperature. Then Ultraman released pressure foam, and the soft bubbles wrapped around Salunga. Just like that, Ultraman became a midwife, escorting the monster Salunga to the ocean. At this moment, everyone held their breath, waiting for good news from Salunga. As the seawater continuously rippled with golden light, two figures burst through the surface. It was Salunga and her baby. Fortunately, both mother and child were safe, and everyone was overjoyed. So do you like this version of Ultraman Cosmos? Follow me to watch the next exciting episode of the series.